I don't think we should worry about how they sound. We should worry about what they do. I mean, what has he done? He's now been Prime Minister for 8 months.
Biggest concern in our community,
Yeah.
extortions.
Yes.
So, despite many efforts, it's still not under control.
Well,
And
but
what do
efforts?
you think is the solution?
What efforts have really been taken? We don't need visitor criminals in this country staying. We need to lock them up and then kick them out.
So you support the similar policies as Trump adopted in USA, sending
No.
helicopters, planes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, most people, I think, will when their permit expires, will do the right thing and head back home.
And some activists, they say that some foreign agencies are behind these groups.
Probably, but why is it that our country is being overrun by foreign entities?
There are many businesses in our community.
Yes.
They are now talking about moving to USA because they feel they are not safe here, they are not secure here. So what long-term impact it will have on?
Why is it that the Liberals let in Bishnoi gangsters in the first place when they could have done the proper background checks to keep them out? We can't accommodate them, and so they have to return when their visa and their permit runs out, and if they're not eligible for a renewal, they have to go back.
ਡੋਨਲਡ ਟਰੰਪ ਦੀ ਰੀ-ਐਮਰਜੈਂਸ ਨਾਲ ਗਲੋਬਲ ਡਾਇਨਾਮਿਕਸ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ, ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦਾ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਲੈਂਡਸਕੇਪ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬਦਲ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਾਰਕ ਕਾਰਨੀ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਸਟੇਜ ਆਏ ਅਤੇ ਅਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਲੀਡਰ ਪੀਅਰ ਪੋਇਲੀਐਵ ਦਾ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਜਰਨੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਰਸਤਾ ਕੰਪਲਿਕੇਟਡ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਚੈਲੰਜਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਸੋ ਟੂ ਟਾਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ current state of Canadian politics and what these developments means for his strategy and leadership, Pierre Poilievre joins us today. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the invite.
Pierre, some people say that Mark Carney is your biggest dilemma. He leads Liberal Party, but his policies sound like conservative. What's your take?
I don't think we should worry about how they sound. We should worry about what they do. I mean, what has he done? He's now been Prime Minister for 8 months, and he hasn't scrapped Liberal bail. We still have out-of-control crime in our streets because he hasn't changed the criminal code, not one word, in 8 months. He has not brought in tougher laws on extortion. He has a bigger financial deficit than Justin Trudeau, $78 billion. Versus Trudeau's $41 billion. The deficit is actually getting bigger under Mark Carney. Grocery prices are out of control because of government spending and hidden taxes, and we aren't getting any pipelines built. There have been announcements, but no shovels in the ground. So I think what we're seeing is Mark Carney is a gigantic counterfeit operation where he takes conservative words, but he doesn't implement conservative deeds. And what we need is the deeds. It doesn't matter what you say, it matters what you do. And what we need to do is to reverse the Liberal policies of the last decade to make life affordable and safe in Canada.
Some observers also feel that just to oppose Mark Carney, Pierre may end up taking position that sounds more like left-leaning. They say your position on Bill C9 and then Strong Borders Act.
Well, let's start with C9. C9 would seek to ban different religious texts so that police could lay charges against pastors and priests and religious leaders because they quote right out of the Bible or out of religious texts. I think that's crazy. And we believe in freedom of religion. So that is why we do not support that bill. We support a better approach, which is to ban the promotion of terrorism and to enforce existing laws. We also don't think that quoting religious texts is the biggest problem in Canada today. It's armed robberies, car thefts, extortions, serious violent offenses. That's what the government should be focused on prosecuting, not putting police in churches and gurdwaras to find out if somebody says something that government considers to be politically incorrect.
I agree with your assessment, what you said about Mark Carney. But some member of your caucus is shrinking. They're joining Liberals, and they said similar things.
Well, look, I think that you take Mr. Ma. He said just a few weeks ago that the government's deficits under Mark Carney were massive and large, and that they were driving up the cost of living. And that was true then. It's true now. So I try to focus on the issues, which is, when the government is adding $78 billion of debt every single year, the biggest deficits in history outside of COVID, you wonder why we have inflation. Well, the money printing drives up gas, housing, food prices, and people cannot afford the cost of Carney. So whether the other MPs feel that way or not, they're voted on a conservative agenda to make Canada affordable and safe, and that's what all conservative MPs should be doing and are doing.
And moving on to the biggest concern in our community, extortions.
Yes.
So despite many efforts, it's still not under control.
Well,
and
but
what do you think is the solution?
What efforts have really been taken? I mean,
task force and some arrests.
Task force. We don't need more meetings or committees or task force. We need to kick foreign nationals who are not Canadian out of our country when they engage in crime and extortion. We need to prevent new extortionists and gangsters from coming in the first place. We need to bring in mandatory prison sentences for extortion. These are all things Conservatives have been proposing. We have Tim Singh Uppal has already proposed mandatory jail time for extortion. The Liberals have been blocking it. We propose to get rid of catch and release bail so that when someone is arrested for serious offenses, they've committed 3 of them, they should be kept behind bars with no eligibility for bail, parole, probation, or house arrest. There should be background checks, criminal background checks based out of the country of origin before we let people into this country. Why is it that the Liberals let in Bishnoi gangsters in the first place when they could have done the proper background checks to keep them out? That's what we should be doing. That is the only way that we're going to stop the extortion that has gone up by 330% since the Liberals took office.
There's a recent news from BC that CBS, they were trying to deport 14 people who were involved and they filed for refugee.
Right, and this is nonsense. We have another conservative refugee reform which says that you have to make your refugee claim within a month of arriving. You can't arrive here and then be here for 2 years and then all of a sudden say, I just realized I'm a refugee. Well, if someone is a refugee, it means that they were in danger when they left their country of origin, and they should immediately report that upon arrival rather than concocting a story to keep themselves in Canada after they've committed a crime. We also want to adopt a law that gets rid of sentencing discounts for foreign nationals who commit crime in Canada. Right now, judges are reducing the sentences so that they come in under the threshold for deportation and then they stay in the country. We don't think that's right. They should do a full sentence and then they should be deported if they're not Canadian permanent residents or citizens. We don't need visitor criminals in this country staying. We need to lock them up and then kick them out.
And some activists, they say that some foreign agencies are behind these groups.
Probably. But why is it that our country is being overrun by foreign entities after 10 years of Liberal government? Okay, why can't our government do its job, which is to protect people against foreign powers? If there are foreign gangsters, foreign governments, foreign agencies that are directing this kind of crime, it is the job of the federal government and the federal government alone to put an end to that. Where's the foreign agent registry? The Liberals promised they would bring one in, and here they are. Mark Carney's been Prime Minister for 8 months, and he has the legal authority to create a foreign agent registry that would require anyone who's being paid by a foreign government to operate in Canada to register and have their name on a public website. Why hasn't he done that? What is he hiding about foreign interference that he doesn't want Canadians to see?
Pierre, many businesses in our community,
Yes.
they're now talking about moving to USA because they feel they are not safe here, they are not secure here. So what long-term impact it will have on?
I find it incredibly sad. I mean, people used to come to Canada because it was the best place, the best quality of life. You could live in safety and security. It was affordable. 10 years ago, you could buy the average house for $450,000. There was roughly 80% less extortion 10 years ago. And what happened? I mean, we've had
But
a
what
Liberal
you
government.
will do if you are Prime Minister?
Well, like I said, I would, on the extortion front, we would bring in mandatory prison sentences. We would bring in 3 strikes, you're out. Anybody who's convicted of 3 serious offenses would be ineligible for bail, parole, probation, or house arrest, so that we can lock these people up. We'd make it easier to deport foreign nationals who are visiting Canada to commit crime, get them out of our country. We would do criminal background and other checks on the person in their country of origin before letting them in. All of those things would restore safety to our streets. We've got to bring an end to the chaos that Liberals have unleashed, and we can do that. We did it before. It used to be safe in Canada, and it will be safe again.
And we have like millions of people who are out of status.
Yes.
What do you think we should do? Because those guys are vulnerable and they are ready to do anything.
I know, and this was again another Liberal failure. The current Justice Minister was the Liberal Immigration Minister, Sean Fraser, who let all these people in. Now, many of them are not bad people; they're good people, actually. It's just that the government screwed up by increasing the numbers to a level that we simply could not absorb into healthcare, housing, job market, or the Canadian way of life. And so now we're in a difficult position where we have to find a way to invite these people to go back to their country of origin, while at the same time making sure that the minority of them that are doing crimes or ripping off the system don't get away with it. So it's a big Liberal mess to clean up, and it's going to take some time.
But some people suggest that it's not practically possible to deport all these people. So it's better to temporarily pause new immigration and regularize all these people.
Well, we can't regularize everybody, but I do believe that we need to pause immigration levels, because we simply can't. We've been bringing in people at 3 times the rate that we're building houses. So the housing stock was growing at roughly 1% a year. The population was growing at roughly 3% a year for the last 3 or 4 years. We have a shortage. We're adding people faster than we're adding doctors, and faster than we're adding jobs. So some of the people who are here on visitor visas, we can't accommodate them, and so they have to return when their visa and their permit runs out. And if they're not eligible for a renewal, they have to go back, and we have to catch up in healthcare, housing, and jobs in order to take care of our own people.
So you support the similar policies as Trump adopted in USA, sending helicopters, planes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, most people, I think, will, when their permit expires, will do the right thing and head back home. I don't think we need to be cruel or nasty to them. They're not. Most of them are very good people. They just came here for a good life. They're not the bad guys. It's the government that screwed it up. Government told them, come here, and it allowed these fake colleges to open up and take advantage of people. But when you have 26 people living in the basement of a single home in Brampton, according to the Brampton City Hall, that's a problem. We can't go on like that. We need to get back some order at the border.
You mentioned about housing, and my last question is about housing.
Yeah.
So if the prices fall further, people who already own house, they may face big losses. And if not, then housing is still unaffordable. So what's the solution?
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge the problem. The Liberals caused a housing bubble, and now that bubble is bursting. This is what happens when bubbles burst. That's why we shouldn't inflate things in the first place. They printed money, they added people faster than homes, and then they funded bureaucracies that block building. That caused the housing cost to more than double, and now nobody can pay for that cost. The bubble's bursting, and the people who bought at the top are losing money. This is unfortunate, but I think what we have to do is we still, even with prices down, it's too high for our young people to buy homes. So we have an incredible situation where buyers can't afford to buy, sellers can't afford to sell, and builders can't afford to build. We need to get the bureaucracy out of the way, take all taxes off home building. GST, PST, HST, the development charges need to be cut back. make it more affordable to build homes so that people can get into those homes. We can start families again. There are going to be a small number of people who bought at the top, unfortunately, that are going to have to wait some time before they recover their losses. But that's the mess the Liberals made.
But one idea is that the best or ideal solution is that average income of Canadians should go up.
That's
Do you
true.
think it is practically possible?
Yes, it is definitely possible. We can grow our income, but we have to make some changes. One, we have to cut income tax so people keep more of what they earn. Two, we have to unleash investment. That's why, because the problem is we don't have enough investment, so we don't have the tools and technology that drives income. How do you get that investment? We're proposing to get rid of the capital gains tax on anyone or any company that reinvests in Canada. So you can imagine if you're a business, you have like a bunch of rental properties, you want to sell those properties and open up a factory. Well, I would let you do that tax-free, and then you would be creating wages for the workers in that factory. I would also invite all the investors who took their money out of Canada to the US, bring it home tax-free, pour that money back into investment here in Canada. I think that way we could boost paychecks and the incomes could catch up with the cost of housing.
Thank you, Pierre, for your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my friend. Many blessings to you. And happy holidays.
Thank you.